Hello YouTube, this is Midnight Phantom here, back again for some more intellectual homicide. Now, I just wanted to note for the record that I am not a creationist and that I do not support the idea that the entire universe was created by a greater being who just decided to create a universe just for the purpose of focusing on one little insignificant area without any sort of proof. Because let's face it, without any evidence, taking a realization like that in is completely ludicrous and is ridiculous. Just borderlining crazy. I largely had the motivation to make this video mainly due to seeing all of the atheist spam in comment sections on YouTube. Then when you confront them about it, they'll reply with something along the lines of, "Whoa! We aren't being mean to Christians. It's the Christians who are being mean to everything that was ever made." You know what? I am so sick and goddamn tired of this mad hypocrisy. It's about fucking time that someone was man enough to call it out. And it sucks that it has to be me, but apparently no one else has the balls to put these smug assholes in their place. So I guess I have to accept that for now. First and foremost, the biggest problem with the atheist ideology is that it's directly contrary to the everly progressing mindset that fits the secularist mold that most of them try to fill. Now, before you try and misinterpret the meaning of what I'm saying, I do understand that not every atheist represents a scientific mindset, but I would say probably about 99.8% of them are scientific secularists who try to disprove the existence of God using science, and the other 0.2% are just people that are bitter and angry with God and refuse to admit that he exists. Or whatever. That last part was unscripted, but the beginning was. That probably came out wrong. I'm not saying that God exists, I'm just... Let me explain later. Anyway, a great example of this is the fact that they've never realized that in order to have a Big Bang, there would have to have essentially needed to exist a space-time continuum for the event to actually occur. Time also couldn't have had a beginning, because of the fact that no matter what way you come up with in order to theorize the beginning, there always had to have been something before that with no end in sight for the cycle to stop. Another great place to cite is the fact that atheists have never realized that space is infinite. Now this fits my ideology known as Aperianism, which I personally have discovered. This was not told to me. I personally discovered this. Let me explain. The mathematical formula for pi, also known as 3.14159, is a fundamental structure in all matter as we know it. Space is made up of matter. Pi is known to just about every area of physics as an irrational number, or in other words, a number that never stops increasing. So we can conclude that if the percentages for everything existing were to have a fraction, it would look something this. Okay, so if we were to, I ain't got nothing to prop this up on. So, for example, if we were to take the statistic percentage, let's say, for example, the statistic percentage for God existing was like 0.1%. I don't know how many zeros I put, but that is the statistic. No, that is the fraction number and statistic average that you would have for the said thing to exist. Rather it be a god, rather it be an alternate Earth, whatever. Your mind is limited to only what you limit it to. You could just speak nonsense, and essentially what you say would exist in the form of a planet somewhere, in some place in the universe that is infinite. As I have said before, I am not a creationist. In fact, I believe in no beginning, as I have stated earlier in the video. But at one point that creationists always cite in their arguments against atheists is that everything cannot come from nothing. Many atheists will quickly dismiss this as nonsense, but the reality is that this statement is very true. Think about it. The theory of that the Big Bang created everything is essentially just the theory of creationism without the mention of God. I believe that the Big Bang created our portion of the infinite universe. I not only believe it, but am also backed up by logic and a complex understanding of nature. Atheists do not realize that they're quickly becoming the new evangelicals of the world. Not in the sense of what they believe, but in how they portray their belief and force it onto others. I don't know if you're like me, but if you so much as mention a happy wish or of the other side, or talk about your beliefs in the comment section, some smart-ass, condescending atheist will say something back that they think is making them look smart, but in reality is just pissing everyone else off. Great example of this is one time I was watching a Wayne Static concert at their Cannibal Killers 2008 tour, and as you might know, their singer Wayne Static recently passed away last November. So people were expressing their wishes for him in the comment section, saying R.I.P. Wayne, or I hope you're doing well in heaven with Dimebag, or whatever. And of course, some little punk replied with, quote, "How can he go to a place that doesn't exist?" End quote. It's shit like this that pisses me off. I know that you don't believe in God, but so fucking what? If people are wishing that a, quite frankly, amazing singer rests in peace, they should be able to do so without being talked down to by some high and mighty ideologic pests. No, I believe that people should be able to believe whatever they want to believe, but don't shove your point of view down other people's throats, okay? It's shit like this that brings the downfall of an ideology. The ideology is largely unquestioned by society, then people who don't believe in what the supremacy is saying revolt, and generally wars break out or large civil unrest follows. I'm not even saying that being atheist is a bad thing. All I'm suggesting is to stop shoving your opinions down everyone else's throat. I personally am an Aperianist. The belief that I discovered, that I previously explained, space being infinite, time not having a beginning, everything existing, yada yada yada. But that ideology makes sense to me, and I'm not trying to shove it down your guys' throats, I'm only explaining it so you don't get confused. If atheism doesn't make sense to somebody, then don't try and shove your thoughts down their throats. If they were an in-the-closet atheist, they'll want to stay even more in the closet now after seeing what their group is doing to society. Anyway, hope you at least try to take this video into consideration, atheist spam errands, and just general loudmouth atheists. Midnight Fantom out.